Hey guys, welcome to the video today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of the tools that I use to help me on my goal of financial freedom, and it's a great way to help automate all of my finances so that I can be a little bit less stress-free on chasing down some of these financial goals. Let's get into the video. Now, just recently there's been a big shift in technology from a banking perspective over maybe the last few years with the introduction of things called neobanks. Now, neobanks, the one that I'm going to be talking about for today, is Upbank. Firstly, we get into what actually is a neobank. Now, a neobank is to be considered kind of the future of banking. Now, these are banks that operate online only, so they use next-gen technology to help make saving and spending a little easier. They don't have branches, so there's no physical bank to go to. So gone are the days where you go into your local branch and talk to your branch manager or your account manager or anything like that. The neobanks of the future are all operated online. They have a lot of software that's involved with their apps that they use. Most neobanks have some pretty good perks attached to them because they don't have the overheads of a branch or as many staff or anything like that. They have the ability to have things like multiple savers tailored to your savings goals. You can be reminded about upcoming bills, and they just put a lot of their research and development into cloud technology to understand sort of their consumers' whole financial landscape, so to speak. Now, Up is one of the largest players in the neobank space, and with good reason, because there's so many features that the users tend to enjoy. So what we're going to talk to you a little bit more about today is some of my experience with Upbank. I'm going to go over some of their pros, some of their cons, and just a general sort of review of my experience with Up as a bank in general. So some of the big things that I find are really helpful with the bank Up are that you can join in minutes. There's no monthly fees, and it integrates well with things like Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. They're locally based support networks, so you can use 7 days a week talking to them in and through the app. So gone are the days of going into your branch, as I said, talking to your account manager or your branch manager. These ones you can use all on their online chat service, and it is really fast into how they get back with you. And they also send their cards out super quick, really quick. I think I got mine within like 3 to 4 days of actually signing up, maybe 3 days. So yeah, it used to be a lot of messing around when you like got your password or your passcode sent out to you. You'd have to scratch it off and then going and getting the bank card after that. So it's a lot quicker and a lot easier with things like Up. And they also use the next gen security, and their safety accounts are backed by Bendigo Bank. So a lot of neobanks, because they're newer, they don't have as much sort of infrastructure in the back end. What they do is they secure their funds through the use of one of the bigger banks. So these guys are backed by Bendigo, and that helps to make sure that your accounts, your transactions, all of your money that's in your accounts is actually backed by another bank. And there is insurance policies, I guess, for them to make sure that your money's safe. When you talk about overseas perks, now on Up, there's no fees on international purchases online or in person, which is great. You can get the actual MasterCard exchange rate with no conversion fees or markup fees. And there's actually no fees from Up when you use an ATM overseas. So this is really good. I know for me, earlier on in my teenage years, using my card overseas would mean a hell of a lot of fees, or when you were going to say Europe or something like that, you'd have to organize with your bank all these sort of extra things around just use of your card and using your money when you're overseas. So those things are all sorted now. It's a lot easier, despite obviously COVID, no one can travel. It's a lot easier to access money overseas, which is great. When it comes to their savings, now this is one of Up's best features. You can create and customize multiple savings accounts for life goals, and you can do this instantly. You don't have to ring anyone up and create an account or go in and see anyone. You can earn up to 0.7% annual return across your savers. Now this is pretty low, but it's around about where most banks are at the moment. You can round up your spare change with every purchase. So doing this round up function, whenever you use the Up card to buy things, it'll round it to the nearest dollar or whatever you set, and it will help to add that to your savings accounts or whatever. So that's a really good accessory that most banks don't have the access of. You can actually split your pay. Now this is something that I've personally used heaps whenever my pay goes in and I want to split it amongst multiple accounts. Within Up, I can use it to split across my savers, and I can use just a percentage slider to indicate how much I'd like to put to each. And this helps it make so much easier. When my pay goes in, it gets split amongst all my bills, savers, tax, all that sort of thing. And then I can automatically schedule any other transfers from there. So it's really quick and then the money that I've got left aside is money that I can spend willingly. They also just integrated their budgeting features. So with Up now, you can choose this payday thing. So if you've got upcoming bills, Up will actually take that into account, and that will recur, or bills that recur monthly, weekly, fortnightly, whatever. It'll take those into account and it'll give you a balance of your current money, and then it'll tell you what your spendable balances is, and it takes into account all those upcoming transactions. So you don't accidentally spend your rent or your phone bill or anything like that. So that is a great feature. Obviously, a lot of millennials, Gen Z can be caught in that sort of debt consumer spending sort of habits. This is a great way to help avoid that. And you can get actually monthly, weekly, and daily insights into your spending habits. So it will send you like a summary of your week, how well you did, and it can help keep you financially fit by setting trackers on specific categories so you can budget a little easier. Now, the best thing that's come out recently is the opportunity to do two-player. And what I'll do is I'll chuck a video up over this of their two-player options. So two-player means that you can have a partner involved and you can share your bills. So that could be your partner, your friends, your housemates, whatever. You can share expenses, and it's super easy to open one of these. The whole process with joint accounts back in the day, I know especially when we opened ours with Bank West, it was really tough. We had to go in, sign all the documents, wait a few days, months, whatever. So this one, you can start straight away, and you can invite people to join into your two-player, and it gives you a card each that you can use for expenditure. So that way, really super simple to have two people using the same card or the same account, and it's pretty seamless as well. So as I've sort of wrapped off there, heap of stuff, heap of features. Some of the key features that I love about Up is the ability to track my pay and split it across savers. That's a really great thing for myself. Being able to automatically schedule payments, and also automatically schedule payments to time base. On lots of other banks, if you were to do BPays or automatic transactions, it just does it whenever it can process it, versus Up, you can actually do it to a set time, which is great. You can track expenses across all your categories. It has those features of automatic integration, and you can work across, whatever's coming in. You can make that a monthly recurring or weekly recurring. It tracks all that stuff for you and gives you a bit of a breakdown. Obviously, Apple Pay is huge. I don't need to take my card with me. I just use my phone most of the time. The timing of the automatic payments, which I mentioned, having the ability to create multiple savers and also give yourself like a percentage. If you wanted to save for a car and you wanted to save 10 grand, you can put on there, I want to save 10 grand. And then every time you make a deposit or it comes up on there, oh, you've saved 10% or 5%. So it's a really good way of giving you like almost outcome-based goals to work towards in a financial sense. And also just gives you notifications of transactions. Say you're about to have a recurring bill come out, it'll tell you like, hey, make sure you've got enough money in your account. This bill is going to come out on Friday or something like that. So there's just a lot of reasons for, especially younger people, Gen Z, millennials, to go towards these neobanks, because there are so many features that are actually applicable to consumers versus the big banks. They just have their like basic level stuff, and you just have to work with whatever you've got. But these neobanks are actually sort of mapping out and designing the way that consumers like or want from their banks, and then they're helping that to make that part of their products as well. So that's my review of Up Bank. What I'll do in the bottom, they have a referral code. I think I get $10 or $5, and you get $10. So you can use that, and you can get started with Up and see what you like about it. Let me know in the comments if you've already used Up, or if you're going to use Up, and what you love about the features there. So thanks very much for checking out the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe below, or alternatively, leave a comment, get in touch with me on social media. Thanks, guys.